Well, of course, Rian Johnson may have directed one of the most divisive Star Wars films of all time with The Last Jedi. Now, there have been reports for years, I say, that he was going to do a new trilogy. I've said for many years, I don't believe that trilogy's ever going to happen. And now it seems like they're finally saying it's not, despite the fact, even in the last year, they've said that this thing is still ongoing, it's still in development. Well, now it looks like it may finally officially be over. The folks over at the playlist wrote the following: Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy is no more. According to a new The Hollywood Reporter interview with the director, the 2017 plans for him to helm 3 standalone films set in a galaxy far, far away are quote-unquote effectively dead. A part of me will always be in Star Wars, said The Last Jedi director, so it's so much a part of me and the way I think. Now look, it's important to understand that in this little interview, he never said, I'll never return to Star Wars. He never said it's an absolute impossibility that this could ever happen. But according to the story here, that new trilogy is effectively dead. How do I feel about it? Well, look, there are 2 truths that seem juxtaposed against each other, but are both true at the same time. Truth number 1. I think Rian Johnson is a fabulous filmmaker. Look, all film is subjective, of course, but if you don't think Rian Johnson's a good filmmaker, I'm going to kind of question your taste in films a little bit. Again, it's all subjective, but I mean, he's just a dynamic, incredible filmmaker. Of course, I'm really excited about his new Knives Out film, Wake Up Dead Man. I think that's going to be awesome. The reviews have been fantastic for it. I'm really looking forward to that. And I also really respect some of the big swings that he took in The Last Jedi. That's all true. It is also true at the same time that I have always thought him coming back to do another trilogy is a mistake. And it's a mistake for several different reasons. Number 1 is the fact that The Last Jedi is such a divisive film. I mean, it's not even all that divisive, because divisive suggests that half the people really like it and half the people really don't. And I think you'd be hard-pressed today to find a lot of people that really appreciate The Last Jedi. For the record, I did not hate The Last Jedi. Actually, there's things about it I hate, for sure, but there's also elements in it that I think were really good. Overall, it ended up being a pretty good movie for me. At least it's a hell of a lot better than The Rise of Skywalker. But that's neither here nor there. You're going to find a lot of people that really hate this film, and that's okay. So that's one of the reasons why I thought it would be a bad idea for him to come back. Because listen, like, you want to put that era behind you. While it is true that all 3 of the sequel movies made over $1 billion at the box office, the reality is that overall, and I say this, what I'm about to say, as somebody who loved The Force Awakens. I love that movie. I don't think The Last Jedi is all that bad. I mean, I don't think it's all that great, but I also don't think it's all that bad. And I absolutely hated The Rise of Skywalker. But as somebody who appreciated some elements of the sequel trilogy, you gotta put it behind you. You have to, if you're Lucasfilm, you've got to get that in your rear view mirror. It's the same reason I've been saying for a while that despite the fact that I really like the Rey character inherently, and I love Daisy Ridley playing the role, you got to move on from Rey. I think it's a mistake for them to be planning to make this new Rey movie because it's just opening an old wound, right? For right or for wrong, the sequel trilogy was extremely divisive amongst people, and they've got to kind of put it behind them if they're going to move forward with Star Wars. So that's why I've been saying I think it's a mistake for them to do a Daisy Ridley Rey movie. Despite the fact that I do think there's some really good potential with the character, you got to move on from it. You got to start, not completely start fresh as in reboot, but you have to give yourself a new beginning if you're Lucasfilm. And I think that same principle, as great of a director that I think Rian Johnson is, I think you've got to move on from it. I think, listen, if you release a new set of films being directed by Rian Johnson, you are starting the PR campaign 5 miles behind the starting line, because there's already going to be so many people that are going to be so vehemently against this film because they hate what he did with The Last Jedi. Now, that may be fair or unfair, but it is what it is. So it's, most movies, ideally, you're starting at the start line when trying to build a PR campaign for it, trying to build buzz for it. Maybe if it's a beloved IP, you're starting a little bit ahead of the starting line. But, I mean, look, guys, the reality is you put out a Rian Johnson movie or a Rian Johnson set of movies for Star Wars, you're going to start 5 miles behind. You are going to start before one frame, before one picture, before one trailer comes out. You're going to end up having 30, 40, 50% of the movie going public are already against your movie, and you haven't even put out a damn thing about it yet. And that's not how you mount a successful campaign. So again, look, there's no getting around it. I love Rian Johnson. I think, again, despite my mixed feelings about The Last Jedi, I respect the fact that he took some really big swings. And by the way, I will debate any Star Wars fan that the Luke Skywalker we got in that movie was a fairly accurate and true representation of who that Luke Skywalker that went through the events of Star Wars, Empire, and the Return of the Jedi, who saw what happened to his father, who knew about the fall of the Republic, who saw all the calamity and lived through the genocides and all that kind of stuff, the consequences of actions. I will debate any Star Wars fan, even though I have mixed feelings about the Last Jedi. I'll debate any Star Wars fan about the truism of that Luke Skywalker that he put in that movie. It's not the Luke I wanted to see. I wanted to see Luke Skywalker pulling out some lightsabers and wrecking fools. That's what I wanted to see. It's not what we got, but I still kind of think that, yeah, that Luke Skywalker we saw in the original trilogy, it is very feasible that this would be the man that he would become due to the things that he's seen and the feelings that he has. So, but again, you got to move on from Rian Johnson. So really, ultimately, I think this report coming out saying that his new trilogy is quote unquote effectively dead, I think that's good for Star Wars. I think it's good for the fandom. And I think it's good for Rian Johnson. Like, listen, he's had so much success making such great films outside of Star Wars. He's always enjoyed the love of a lot of the film community that love him other than Star Wars. And right now he's riding high again with his Knives Out trilogy. Let him continue to do that. Anyway, that's just my thoughts about it, guys. What do you think about this? Rian Johnson, while not negating the idea that he could ever come back to Star Wars, the report is saying that this new trilogy of his finally, as I've been saying for years, is now officially dead. However you guys feel about it, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.